next week? Huh. Okay. No selling next Monday. Just Monday. No sell Monday. No Monday. Probably be at a baseball tournament. You ready, Ricardo? Let's get after it. You got 2 orders now? $1.55, 55, 55, 57, 57, 60, and 2.5, 5, and 65, 7.5, 70, 70, now 70 here, 72.5, and 72.5, 5, and 75 here, 75 here, 75, 77, 77, 750, 80, and now here there, group 80, 88, 9, now 79, now 79, group 80, and 9 here, group 81 here, group 81, group 2, group 81, group 2 here, group 81, group 82, whole, 181, 7. $185, 85, 85, 87, group 92, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, 97, 50, and 97, 95, 6 here, 95, 6, 7, and 97, 97, 97, $8, and 93, 98, 98, 99, 99, 99, group 95, group 95, group 8, 99, and 99 here, group 9, now 2, and 95, group 2, 1, and 201, group 202, group 202, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 2, group 2, group 2, group 2, D, 201, both. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 57, group 60, 52.5, 5, and 65, 7.5, 7.5, 750, and 67.5, 70, and 170, 172.5, 72.50, and 70, 52.5, 5, and 75 here, 75 here, 75, group 75, and 75, 75, 75, 75, 55 here, 75 here, whole 172.5, 7. Bad-footed bull. $1. 110, and 110, group 110, group 110, group 110, group 110, 20, group 20, group 30, group 35, group 35, 40, and 45, and 45, 50, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, and half 5, now 70, 70, group 170, group 170, and 65, 73, 75, and now 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75 here, sold 170, 16, S16. $165, as you get about 750, and 67, group 67, group 70, 72 and a half, and 72 and a half, 72 and a half, 72, 55, and 75 here, 77 pounds, 77 pounds, 77 pounds, 80 down, 77, 80, and how hit there, group 181, 81 here, group 81, 82, group 82, group 3, 82, 3, and now 3, 4, 84 there, group 84 there, group 83, but 4 there, group 84, 5, 85 there, group 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 6, 85, 86 there, group 85, group 6 out of here, group 85, group 6, hold 185, hole 7. $75, 75, 75, 75, 77 pounds, 77 pounds, 77 pounds, 750, and 77 and a half, group 77 and a half, now 80, and now 80 pound, 2 and a half, group 2 and a half, 2 and a half, group 85 there, group 85, 85, 85, 83, 85, 83, 57, 87 here, group 87, 9, group 85, group 85, 87 and 9 here, group 87, group 9, Totter, group 87, group 9 here, group 9 here, now, so 187, Gibbon, boo. $1.50. $1.50, 53, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 here, $110, $110, and 110, going to be 110, going to be 110, going to be 110, going to be 110, 20, going to be 20, and 20, 30, and 30, 40, $1.40, 50, $1.50, 50, 40, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, sold, 140, yes, 11. $75, yeah, $75, 75, 75, 75, 75, $75 here, $75 there, $75, $75, $75, $77 and a half, and $77 and a half, going to be $77 and a half, going to be $77 and a half here, sold $175, Gibbon Bull. $35, yeah, $35, and $35, $37, and $37, and $35, $37, and $37, and $37, 50, and 40, and 42 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, and 45, 47, and 47, and 50, and 50, 50, and 50, there, going to be 150, and 53 and a half, 8, 9, 50 times 50, and 45, 50, 45, 50, 4, yeah, 150, and 45, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, here, S, 149, 4. Lottery 105 and 105 here, 105, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, and 10, going to be 110, 15, 20 here, going to be 120, 20, and 25, and 25, 30, 35, 35, 40, 140, 135, 47 and a half, 40, and 40, 40, 42 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 42 and a half here, Thor, 140, Booker, 11. I have no idea. 125, 25, and 25, 27, going to be 32 and a half, 5, and 35, 37, and 37, going to be 40, 42 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 5, and 45, 47, and 47, and 47, and 45, 46, 7, and 47, going to get 47, going to get 47, Cavus, 146X. $45, 45, 47, 45, 47, 47, 47, 45, 7, 50, and 40, 57, going to be 40, 57, 47, Cavus, 145, 10. They're saving their bullets for later. $42 and a half, and 40, 2 and a half, going to be 40, 2 and a half, going to be 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 42, 55, and 45, 47, 47, 45, 47 and a half, 45, 47, 50, and 40, 7 and a half, going to be 40, 7 and a half, going to be 47 and a half here, Chris, 145, 10. Y'all out of school? Tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. JCS, Chris Stewart, Hennessy cows. 45, 45, 47, 45, 47, 47, 47, 50, and now 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, jiggy 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, now 55 here, Taylor, 152 and a half, grade 10. $120, $125, 25, and 25, 25, 25, 25, gonna be $125, gonna be $125, gonna be $125, $125, $105, 105, and $105 here, gonna $105, $5, $5, $5, $5, $5, gonna be $105, $5 here, gonna be $105, $5 here, gonna be $105. Ricardo, $1 on number 10. Daughter, 105, and 105 here, good 105, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 10, good 110, 15, 110, 15, 20, and 20, 20 there, good 20, 20 there, good 120, good 20, good 20, 115, 20, now 20S, 115, 4X. You can handle it. Come up there at Faye. Yep. 35, 35, 37, 40, and 40, 42 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 47, 50, and now 50, 50, 51, and 51, 2, 1, 2, 3, 53, 4, 3, 53, 4, and 53, 54, 54, 54, 4, and 53, 54, 153, 54, 3, 53, 54, here, Booker, 153. Not as snappy as it was last week. Huh? We're in a drought. 35, 35, and 35, 37, and 37, and 40, and 45, 45, 42, 43, 43, 43, 43, 4, and 40, 45, 45, 645, 67 here, 47, going to be 40 here, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, going to be 49, and now, hey, daughter, be 9, here, going to be 9, daughter, going to be 9, here, going to be 9, here, going to be 9, here, so 148, Kevin is 3. Four years old. She's 5 months bred. 1,500. 15 and a half, and 15 and a half here, half and a half here, 15.50, and 15 and a half down 16, and 16 and a half, going to be 17 and a half, going to be 18, going to be half, going to be 19, going to be half, now 2, and 20, 50 and a half 1, and 21, 21, 21, 2100 here, going to be 2100 here, going to be 2100 here, going to be 2100, and 2100 here, going to be 2100 here, going to be 2100. Chris, 2050 on 4. One year and 5 months, 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half, going to be 15.50, and 15 and a half here, half here, 15 and a half here, 1,600 here, going to be 16.50, and now 17, and 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, going to be 18 here, but with 18 and a half here, going to be 18, 1900, and 19 and a half, going to be 19, now 2, and 2,000, 2050, and 2050 and a half 1, and 2,100 and a half here, 21 and a half, 21 and a half, 2150, now 2, and 2,200 and a half here, going to be 22 and a half here, but with that here, going to be 22 and a half here, so about 2,200. Chris, 4. 7 years old. She's 7 months bred. 2,000. 2100, 2100 here, going to be 2100 here, 21, 21, 21, 2, and 21, 2, 21, 2, 3, and 23, 23, 24, 24, 25 here, 25, and 24 and a half, and 20, we get 4 and a 5, and 25, 25, 550, and 20, we get 5 and a half, going to be 20, we get 5 and a half, going to be 20, we get 5 and a half, going to be 25, 50, and 25, 55 and a half, we get 5 and a half, going to be 25 and a half, koi, 2500 on 10. Thank you. 6 years and 6 months. 1,500. 15 and a half. 15 and a half here. Half and a half here. Half and a half here. Going to be 15 and a half here. 16 and a half here. Now 17. 17 and a half. 17 and a half. Going to be 18 and a half. Going to be 18, 19, 19, 2001. And 21, 21, 21, 2. And 22, 103. And 23, we get 3, 4. And 24 here. 24, 23, we get 4. 23, we get 4. 23, we get 4. 23, we get 4. And 2400 here. Going to be 23, 400. Going to be 23, we get 4. Chris, 2300 on 55. 3 years and 3 months. She's been sewed up on this side. Yeah. Who'll give 1,500 on her? Who'll give 1,000? Who'll give $1 a pound? 110.20. 110.20 and 10.23, bit of a 10.20, going to be 10.20, going to be 20, we get 30, 120, we get 30, 40, $1.35, and 35 here, 35, 35, 35, we get 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 35, going to be 35, we get 5 here, now 40, 140, 145, Andy, 145, you're out now online, 145, 145, 145, and 45, we get 45, we get 45, we get 45 here, Solder, 140, Ricardo. 5 years and 5 months. Get a little cow, 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half here, half and a half here, 16 and a half here, now 17, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, going to be 18 and a half, going to be 18, bit of a 19, and 2001, and 21, 21, 2, and 22, 23, 23, 24 here, 23, 24, and 23, bit of 4, going to be 23, 50, and 23 and a half, you're out on line, 23, 50, and 20, bit of 3 and a half, going to be 20, bit of 3 and a half, 23, 50, and 20, bit of 3 and a half, going to be 20, bit of 3 and a half, going to be 23 and a half, and die, Solder, 2,300 koi, 10. 7 years and 8 months. What a cow. 2,000. 2,100. 21. And 21. And 20. And 21. 21. 21. 2. And 2. We get 3. And 23. 4. And 24 to 5 here. 25. 25. 24 to hand. 24. 50. Now 5. 2,550. And 5 to 5. Going to be 2,600. And 25 to 5. Going to be 2,600 and a half. And 26 and a half. 7. And 7. And 7. And 7. And 7. And 7. And 700. And 2,700 here. Going to be 2,700 here. Going to be 2,700. And 2,700. Going to be 2,700. Going to be 2,700. Solder, 26 and a half. Chris, 3. What a cow. Thank you. 4 years. 5 months spread, 1,600, 16 and a half, 16 and a half here, 1,700, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, going to be 18 and a half, going to be 1,900, 2,001, and 21, 21, 21, 2, and 22, 3, 23, 23, 24 here, 23, 4, and 23, we get 4, going to be 23, 4, and 23, we get 400, going to be 23, we get 4, Chris, 2,355. She open? 4, you're no open, $1.50. $1.55, 55, 55, 60, and now 60 here, 155, 60, 160, 165, now 65, 165, and 70, 170, 170, and now 70, 70, 70, 70, going to be 70, 170 sold, 165, hike 5. 4 and open, $1.50. 55, 55, and 55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, you get 5 here, 55, 55, 55, 55, and 55, there you get 60, and now 60 here, 155, 60 here, 65, and 65, 70, 70, 165, 70, and 70, 70, there you get 70, 70, going to be 70 here, sold, 165, Ricardo. 42 and a half, and 40, we get 2 and a 5, and 45, 47 and a half, 50, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, 47 and a half, 50, and 7 and a half, 55, 52 and a half, 2 and a half, 51, 51, 51, 2, 51, 2, 51, 2, 3, and 52, 3, and 53, we get 53, 52, 53, 52, going to be 53 and a half, 3 here, shoulder, 152, grade 10. 35, yeah, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 42 and a half, 5, and 45, it gets 7, 50, it gets 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, it gets 5, and 57 and a half, 57 and a half, going to be 60, and now 62 and a half, it gets 2 and a half, going to be 60, it gets 2 and a half, going to be 62 and a half, 5, and now 5, now 750, is 67 and a half here, half and a half here, going to be 67 and a half here, here's over, 165, Chris 8, 8X. Two-year-old, $1.50. 55, yeah, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80, 5, here, 95, and 95, and 2, 205, 210, 15, 20, and 220, 20, and 220, 220, 220, 20, 220, 220 here, Chris, 215, 7X. $4 years and 4 months, 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half here, half and a half here, 16 and a half, 17, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 1750, 17 and a half, it is 17 and a half, going to be 17 and a half, going to be 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 18, now 18, now half, now 19, now half, 19 and a half, 2, 2050, and 2051, and 21, 21, 21 and a half, and 21 and a half, 2150, and 21 and a half, going to be 21 and a half, going to be 21 and a half, going to be 21 and a half, here's order, 2100, hike 1. 120, 122 and a half, and 20, we get 2 and a half, going to be 20, we get 2 and a half, 25, 7, 50, 30, we get 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 35 here, 35, you get 5, 750, and 37 and a half, 40, and 40, 40, 40, we get 42 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 47, 50, and 40, we get 7 and a half, going to be 47 and a half here, bit of a half here, going to be 47 and a half here, so 145, Booker 11. Little three-year-old, guys. She's open. 125. 125, 35, and 35, we get 40, we get 45, we get 45, we get 50, we get 55, 55, 55, 55, you get 5, 60, 160, 155, 60. It's 60 there, 5, 60, 5, 60, hike, 155, 5. 25, 27 and a half, 27 and a half, going to be 30, we get 2 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 50, and 2 and a half, 52, 50, and 50, we get 2 and a half, bit of a half here, going to be 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, bit of a half here, going to be 52 and a half here, cabinets, 150. No Monday sale next week. We will be Tuesday and Wednesday. No Monday. 52 and a half, 52 and a half, we get 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, 52 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, going to be 50, we get 2 and a half, going to be 50, we get 2 and a half, going to be 150. 35, 7 and a half, 42 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 50. Chris 10, 147.50. $35, yeah, 35, 37 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 50, 2 and a half, 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 50, we get 2 and a half, going to be 50, we get 2 and a half, going to be 52 and a half, cabinets, 150, home 3. My bad, Thor. Maybe that lady's face is sore. I bet she's black and blue.
That's wild. I hadn't had hand draws for 30 years.
I know it, right? Did you hear about that lady that fell, busted her face, all the shit last week? Yeah. This old lady fell down, tripped over her feet out there, and just bam, busted her mouth open, face, elbows. Here's a little old 2-year-old. He give $1.50.
No.
Dollar. 110 and $110. Going to be 110. Going to be 110. Going to be 110. Going to be 110. 20, 30 and 20. Going to get 30, 40. $1.40, 50. Going to get 50. Going to get 50, 40, 50. $1.40. Going to get 50, 60. $1.50, 60. Here, what about 5? 60 and now 65 and 70. Going to get 75 now 75. 75. You get 5. 75. You get 5. 75. You get 5. Yes, 170 on 11X. Pretty good cow there. 135. 35 and 37 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 47, 50 and a half, 50 and 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 5, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 and 55, 3 out of here, 55 and 55 and a half, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 and a half, gray, 152 and a half, 10. Her mouth, she hit her mouth. I mean, it was gashed open. Blood everywhere. $35, 35, 37, 37, 40, 2 and a half, 45. She's a 6-year-old. She's 3 months bred. 47 and a half, 50. 52 and a half. 52 and a half, 5. 57 and a half. 57 and a half. 62 and a half, 5. 7 and a half, 70. $72 and a half, 5. 177 and a half, 80. 180. 180. Sold 177 and a half. McGee. Guys, let me know when they come in here with them ear tags. You savvy? You savvy? No savvy. 35. 35 and 35, 37 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 47, 50 and 40, 7 and a half, 47 and a half, 47 and 50 and 2 and a half, 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 2 and a half. Here sold 150. Booker. Straight. There you go. That's better. There you go. 1 year, 6 months. 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half here, have and a half here, going to be 1550, and 15 and a half here, and a half here, going to be 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 14 and a half, 1500 and a half, and 15 and a half here, a half here, you out of line, 50 and a half, 16 and a half, 16 and a half, now 17, 1700, 17 and a half, 1750, and 17 and a half here, have and a half here, you're going to be 17 and a half, Austin, you're out, 1750, and 17 and a half, 17 and a half, going to be 1800, 18, bit of 18, bit of 18, bit of 18, going to be 18, bit of 18, going to be 18, 18 and a half, 18 and a half, 18 and a half, Austin, 1850 and a half here, a half here, bit of a half here, going to be 18 and a half here, going to be 1850, sold her, 1800, MW, 50 cents a pound. $50, $60, $70, $80, $90, $1, $10, $15, $20, $1.20, $115, $20. S, $115, $1. Yes, she is. 35. Yeah, 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 40, 2 and a half, 45, 7 and a half, 50, now 2 and a half, 5, and 57 and a half, 60, now 60, and say 8, 9, now 9, you get 9, 60, 161, and you get 1, 2, group 2, group 2, group 2, group 2, 61, 2, group 2, group 2, group 2, here, Booker, 161. Straight. Six-year-old, she's open. Dollar 20. 125, yeah, 25, and 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, gonna be 125, gonna be 125, gonna get 30, and 25, gonna be 30, gonna get 30, gonna get 30, gonna get 30, gonna get 30, 25, gonna get 30, 125, gonna be 30, gonna get 30, gonna get 30, here, S, 125, 4. Seven-year-old, 120. 125, yeah, 25, and 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, gonna be 125, gonna be 125, gonna be 125, gonna get 5, gonna get 5, 30, gonna get 30, gonna get 30, 125, gonna get 30, 5. Sold, 130, S1. 35, yeah, 35, and 35, 37, and 37, and 37, 40, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 47, 50, and 40, 57, and 50, another 55, 50, get a 50, 52 and a half, good 2 and a half, good 1, and 50, 51, here, sold, 150, Booker. Forward open. 135. 135, 40, and 35, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, going to be 35, 45 here, 45, you get 55, and 55, 65, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, now 5 here, 5 here, $60, 5 here, 5, 5 here, hike, 160, hike, 5. 35, yeah, 35, and 35, 35, 37, and 35, 37, and 37, and 35, 37, and 37, and 37, and going to be 37 and a half, here, going to be 37, and now you give half, 37 and a half, S, 135, 4. Okay. I can remember that. Oh. 50. 52 and a half, and 52 and a half, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 51, and 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, going to be 51, going to be 51, going to be 51, here, Booker, 150.
Spinner. Need a tag number.
No.
15.
1572. Yeah. Okay, you can figure it out.
You see pretty good, Rob. Two years and 8 months bred, 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half, $1,000, 10, 11, and 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 11, 1100, 1100, 10, 11, 1100, 1,000, going to be 1100, 11, 12, and 1,200, going to be 12 and a half, going to be 13 and a half, going to be 13 and a half, 1,400 and a half, and 14 and a half, going to be 14 and a half, going to be 1450, and 50 and a half here, a little bit of that here, going to be 14 and a half here, now a half here, Chris, 1,400 on 4.
Had to go to Oak City last night for graduation.
35, 35, and 37, and 37, and 42 and a half, 45, 45, 45, you get 5 power up, and 45, 45, 45, 47, and 50, and 2 and a half, you get 2 and a half, 5, and 55, 57, and 57, and going to be 60, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, what about 1, 61, and 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, now 2, going to be 2, 61, 2, 3, and half, 3, we get 3, going to be 2, 3, now 3, we get 3, going to be 2, we get 3, Booker, 162. Just a 5. She bred. Send her to the shoot and have her preg checked. I think she's big time. Then we'll sell her. We'll sell her for higher money. That's right. Huh? I don't know.
You sure look for it.
They're going to be in the very end and they're going to go by the way anyway.
I bet you won't let anybody steal it.
They're probably not. I give you 140 right now.
For this one?
25, yeah, 25, and 27, and 32 and a half, 35, 37, and 40, we get 42 and a half, 45, 45, 47 and a half, 47, and 50, and half 50, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, and 50 there, you're going to be 150, we get 50, and 50 here, Kevin, that's 147.50. Long toes. 25, yeah, 25, 27, and 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, you get 2 and a half, 32 and a half, 5, and 35, you get 7 and a half, 40, you get 42 and a half, 45, 45, 750, and 40, you get 7 and a half, 50, and half 50, you get 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 52 and a half, 52 and a half, bit of a half here, you're going to 5, and 55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, you get 5, you get 5, you get 5 here, S, 152 and a half, 4. One by 5, 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half here, have and a half here, going to be 1,600 and a half here, going to be 17, 50, 18, 50, 19, half, 1952, and 2,000, 21, 21, 21, 2100, and 2100 and 2, and 25, going to be 23, and 23, going to be 23, going to be 23, going to be 23, going to be 2,300, and 22, 300. This side's all out, 2,300, and 22 and a half, 3, and 3, going to be 22, Chris, 2,200 on 4. 125, 27 and a half here, 27.50, and 20, 7, going to be 20, 7, going to be 20, 7, 27, and 30, and 30, 30, 32 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 5, and 35, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, going to be 40, 40, 40, going to be 40, 40, 2 and a half, 40 to 55, now 45, 7 and a half, 50, 150, and 53, 50, 50, 50, here, book, 147 and a half, 11. 4-year-old, she's open here, 35, and 35, 40, and 35, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 35, going to be 140, and 45, and 45 here, 45 here, 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, now 50, $1.55, and 55, 60 here, going to be 60 here, hike, 155.5. Mr. Hike, you still married after taking all them horns to your wife? Yeah. 5 and open, 35, and 35, we get 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 40, we get 42 and a half, 45, 7 and a half, 50, and 2 and a half, 5, and 57, 57, 57 and a half, 60, and 1, and 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, 61, here, another one, here, a canvas, 160 on 3. One by 8, 1,500. 15, 16, and 15, 16, 17, and 17, going to be 18, 17, going to be 18, 17, going to be 18, going to be 19, going to be 2,000, going to be 2,100, and 2,100, 21, 21, 21, 21, 2,100, and 2,100 here, going to be 2,100, going to be 2,100 here, going to be 2,100 here, going to be 2,100 here, S, 2,000 on 7. Sure is quiet here.
Con toda esa leche que trae no mantiene ni un gato.
Six-year-old cow, 35, and 35, and 37 of 35, 37 of 37 of 37 and a half here, 37.50, and now 40, we get 2.5, 45, 7.5, 50, now 50, and now 50, we get 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 50, given 147.50. Years old. She's 8 months. Gentlemen, 3 by 8. 2,000. 20, 100, and 21, and 21, and 21, 21, 21, 2, and 22, we get 3, and 23, 24, 24 to 5 here, 24, 5, 600, 25, 600, and 25, 50, and 25 to 5, going to be 2,600 and a half, and 26, 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, and 2,700 and a half, 7 and a half, 750, now 8, and 2,800, and 2,800, going to be 2,800, going to be 2,800 here, going to be 28, you're out, guys, 2,800, and 2,800 here, but 8 and a half. 28 and a half, 28.50, and 28 and a half here, but about that here, going to be 28 and a half, and I sold her 2,800. Castle. Pat's Wald. Pat's Wald. W-A-L-D. Thank you, sir. Yeah, better. Three it open. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 55, 70, 55 here, 75, 80, and 75, go to be 80, 75, go to be 80, 75, 80, and 75, go to be 80 here, 75, go to be 80, now 80 sold, 175, Chris, 8X. $51, 51, 51, 2, and 3, 54, 55, 55, 55, you got 607, and 57, 58, and I'm going to be down 60, 161, and down 2, going to get 2, going to be 2, 61, 2, 3, and hand 3, going to get 3, 3, and 2, 3, and hand 3, going to get 3, going to be 62, going to get 3, Booker, 162, nothing. Yeah. 51, 50, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 55, 6, and 56, 7, 7, 7, 56, 7, and 56, 7, 7, 7, 7 here, 7 here, 7 here, now 7 here, given 156. $5 and $105 here, good 105, we get 10, 15, 115, 120, and 25, 125, we get 30, we get 30, we get 30, we get 30, here man's out, 135, now 5, now 40, 140, now 5, 50, 55, 60, now 5, now 70, 175, now 80, 185, now 90, 195, now 2, now 5, going to be 210, 210, 220, 230, who started her, 220, 30, 220, 30, and 220, 30, there you're going to be 20, we get 30, 20, we get 30, 20, now. She needs to go have brake checked. Okay. I'm at with somebody at 220, 230, 220, 30.
You gotta call and make sure.
Chris, 220, 3X.
Already, please. Let's call. Send her around.
Chris, 10.
Yeah, just see if she was already checked. Sometimes they don't write it on there. Please.
We're finding out, Wade. Here's a 4-year-old. She's open. 135 and 35 40 and 35 45 45 47 47 50 10 2 and a half, 2 and a half, good 2 and a half, 55 and 55 57 57 good 62 and a half, 62 and a half 5 and 65 7 and a half, 70 72 and a half 5 and 75 70 50 now 80 and 82 and a half, good 82 and a half here, 80 2 and a half, good 80 2 and a half here, Chris 180 3x.
What do you think? I'll tell you. We'll find out.
What'd you? Enter.
She might have a calf.
Maybe outside.
Okay. Okay. Corey's going to go check on it for you, Mr. Miller. Thank you.
Well done.
52 and a half, and 52 50, and 50, going to 2 and a half, going to be 52 and a half 5, and 57 57, going to be 60, going to 60, going to be 2 and a half 5, and 67 and a half, so 70, 170, 170, and 2 and a half, 72 50, and 70, going to 2 and a half, going to be 70, going to 2 and a half, 72 and a half, Lou, you're out, 72 and a half, S, 170, 16. Check, open. He says you might have a calf.
30 cents, you don't want to know what they said.
Wade Miller.
Good wake out, John.
Thirty-five and 35, 37 and 37, 42 and a half, 45, 47 and 47 and 52 and a half, 52 and a half 5 and 57 and 57 and going to be 60, 2 and a half and 2 and a half, 2 and a half, going to be 2 and 5 and 65, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 67 and a half here, Booker 165.
Hey, come on, look.
All bulls, all express bulls. $1.50. 55 and 55 and 55, 55, 60, 5 and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 2 and a half and 2 and a half, 2 and a 5 and 65, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 70, 72 and a half, 72 and a half 5 and 77 and a half, 77, 50 and 77 and a half and 80 and now 82 and a half here, 82, 50, 85, 85 there, going to be 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85 here, going to be 85, Trevor, you're at 85, 87 and a half, 87 and a half and 90 and 190, going to be 90, going to be 90, yet again, Trev, 190 and 90, 92 and a half, and 92 and a half, 92 and a half, 92 and a half, 92 and a half, 95, 195, route again, 195, and 95, yeah, 95 here, 95, 95, 95, 95, 97, 50, and 97 and 97 and 97 and 97 and a half here, sort of 195, put him on Jones, put him on Bull, Jones Bull. I can't hear you, wait, I'm sorry. What'd you say? Okay. Can you check it?
Something.
Okay.
All right, we're working on these rooter bred cows, and they're going to be bred to Nip Charolais bulls. Bred to Nip Charolais bulls. These cows are going to be 6, 7 years old on the ages.
5 months.
Kind of right there in the second trimester, looks like kind of 5, 6 months bred. 2,000. 20, 100, and 21, yeah, 21, and 20, and 21, 21, 22, and 22, 100, and 22, 22, 22, 22, now 3, and 23, 50, and 23 and a half, 4, and 24, 124, 24, 24, going to be 24, going to be 24, and 24, going to be 2400, and 2400, you out on line, 2400, and 2400, going to be 24 and a half, 24 and a half, who you got? Who you got?
Chris.
Now 5, 25, 50, now 6, 20, 600, now half, 26 and a half. Here, 26 and a half. Here, half and a half. Here, going to be 26.50 and 26 and a half. Here, half. Here, half. Here and a half. Sold them. 2,600. Hole 2. Three more of the Rooter cows bred to Nip Charlet bulls. They are 8 years old. They're all 5 months bred. One cow's walking a little funkier than the other two. Let's hold her. Sell to. Tag number 6948. Let's hold her. Sell the two 8x5s. 2,000. 2,100. Yeah, 21. 20 and 21. 21. 21. 21. 100. 2100. 2100. 21. 21. Yes, sir. Selling two. 2,100 and 21. Now two and 2,200. 3 and 23 to 3 and 23 to 3. 23 to 3. Going to be 23 to 3. Going to be 23 to 3. Half 3. 2,300. 23 to 3. 23. 23. Paul, you're out. 2,300 and 23 to 3. Going to be 2,300. Going to be 2,300 and 2 and a half to 3. Going to be 22 and a half to 3. Sold. 22.50. Chris on 55. Yard him out. Here's the way cows right there. Here, 35 and 37.50 and 30 going to be 40 going to 2 and a half 5 and 47 and a half 50 going to 52 and a half going to be 2 and a half going to be 52.50 and 52 and a half 5 and 55 55 55 55 55 55 3 4 and 54 you get 53 54 here 54 5 and 55 55 55 55 55 55 55 you get 5 54 and a 5 here 5 you get 5 you get 5 you get 5 and a 5 here Booker 154. Can't tell. Antonio, you need a puppy? I got one coming your way, 6 weeks, maybe 2. She had 8 before I left the house this morning. She was at 8. I don't know. She usually has about 10 to 12, and this was a oops. 120, 125. How's the ages on these cows? They look young. 3 to 6 years old. 125, 30, and 25, 35, and 35, to get 40, to get 5, to get 50, to get 5, going to be 65, and 70, 175, 75, 75, there's 75, and half 5, 75, 75, to get 5, 75, $5 here, 70, now 5, and 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75, to get 5 here, 75, to get 5 here, and I sold them. 170, gray, 15. So that yeah. So that Chris 10, we need to get her back, sell her as a pair.
They're taking it over there to her now.
Okay. Probably. 4s and 5s are open. 125, 125, 30, and 25, to get 30, 30, 30, 35, and 35, to get 40, to get 5, to get 45, here, 45, you get 45, 45, 50, and 5, and 55, 60, 55, 65, 70, to get 70, 170, 170, 8, and 9, 169, 70, 172 and a half, 5, 77 and a half, 77, 50, now 80, 2 and a half, 82 and a half, 80, to get 2 and a half, going to be 80, to get 2 and a half, going to be 80, to get 2 and a half, bit of a half here, so 180, hike 5. Five to 7s, 5 and 6 years old, guys, working on the Sterling ranches. 125, and 25, 30, and 25, to get 30, 25, to get 35, 35, 37, 37, going to be 40, to get 40, and 2 and a 5, and 45, 47, 47, 50, and 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 57, 35, 55, 57, and 55, 7, and 55, going to be 7 and 9, and now 9, going to be 9, going to be 9, 60, and now 60 here, 9, 60 here, 9, going to be 160 here, gray, 159, 16. Be 32 more starting ranches. 6 to 10. Half of them. One cow's
Bring them all if you want. They'll fit.
One cow's got a old busted up leg. She's gonna be on there, guys.
Okay, this is gonna be a split grass at 32. I have 16
$15, $16.
35, yeah, 35, and 35, 37, and 37, and 40, and 42 and a half, 45, 47, and 47, and 50, and 2 and a half, 51, and 50, 51, and 51, 2, 53, 53, 52, 3, and 53, 54, and 54, 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 6 on her, and 55, 6, 7, and 50, 7, and 7, 7, 7, 7, 56, 7, and 56, 7, and 7, 7, here, going to be 7, going to be $7, going to be 7, here, going to be 7, go 7, here, going to be 7, here, going to be 7, so 156 cabinets.
Cooper's out. Let's go. I think it's a split, like forward grass. After this big group, we need to get that cow on the north side before she commits suicide. Mal?
Cows done good.
Okay.
Here's Jason's cows, guys. Pretty nice set of gals, guys, right there. Here, 35, and 35, and 35, 37, and 37, and 37, and going to be 40, going to get 2 and a half, 5, and 45, 45, 45, 45, 47, and 47, and 47, and 45, 47, 50, and 40, going to get 7, and 47, 50, and 40, going to get 7, and 45, 47, and 7, and 7, and 7, and going to be 47 and a half, and I sold them 145 Booker, nothing.
Not as big as I thought they were. $15.
15 more. 135, 35, and 35, 35, 37, and 37, and going to be 40, going to get 42 and a half, 41, 3, and 43, 43, 43, 45, here, 43, 45, 44, and 43, going to get 45, and 45, you get 45, 45, you get 600, and 46, 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, 46, 7, $8, and 47, going to get 9, now 9, going to be 9, going to get 9, going to be 40, here, going to be 9, 50, $1.50, here, going to be 150, going to get 50, 45, going to get 50, 45, going to get 50, 45, going to get 50, going to get 50, 45, going to get 50, Booker, 149 on 21, Booker 21, 149.
Yeah.
8 by 5. I don't think she walks the best in the world, and she's got a bad attitude. $1. 110 and 110. Going to be 110. Going to be 110. 20. Going to be 25. Going to be 25. Going to get 30 with 35 and 35. 40. 40. 40. Going to get 45. Going to get 45. 50 and 50 both out. 150 and 55 and 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55 here. 5. Going to get 5. Going to get 5 here. Sold. 150. Cabin of 6.
Having a
Stay in that barrel. Calves, I'll be off those cows tomorrow. After a while, be a few after a while. Got a few baby calves after a while. Here's more of them. Had a good home. 35, yeah, 35, and 37, and 35, 37, and 40, and 40, 40, 41, and 40, 41, we get 41, we get 41, we get 41, 41, and 40, 41, we get 41, 2, 41, 2, 41, 2, 41, 2, 40, you get 2, and 42, 41, we get 2, 41, 42, 41, 2, 3, now 43, now 44, 144, and 43, 43, we get 43, 43, going to be 43, we get $4, 43, we get 43, 43, we get 4, 43, we get 4, Chris, 143, 10. Thank you.
One more draft on? Yes, sir.
Wheat was good.
Say that again. Okay.
$1.50. 55, 55, 55, 60, 5, and 65, 70, 75, 75, 75, 72, 50, and 72 and a half, 75 here, 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75 here, whole, 172 and a half, 6.
That's not a fair.
75, 75, 77, 77, group 82 and a half, 85, 87, 87, 90, group 90, group 92 and a half, 92, 50, and 90, group 2 and a half, group 90, group 2 and a half, group 90, group 2 and a half, group 92 and a half, 95, 95, and 97, 50, and 97, 97, 97, 97, 97, group 97 and a half here, whole 7, 195.
No, because it's already been checked. She's got a bad time. I'll let you handle that.
$75, 75, 75, 75, 77, 50, and 77 and a half, 77 and a half, 77 and a half, 77, 50, and 77 and a half, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, jiggy 5 here, 75 here, 65, 165, 65, 50, 2 and a half, 5, 7 and a half, 60, now 60, Rob, 160, 2 and a half, 62 and a half, and 2 and a half, 5, and 65, and has 7 and a half, and 67 and a half here, half here, going to be 67, 70, and now 70, 73, going to be 70, going to be 70 here, whole, 167 and a half, 7. Jacob, how many did you bring in? Just that one? Okay. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 55, 70, 75, 75, 80, and 75, go to 80, 75, go to 80, 75, go to 80, you give 80, 75, go to 80, now 5, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, and 90, 90, 95, 95 here, 95, 95, 95, 95, now 2, and 95 and 2, go to 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 2, S, 195, 16, $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 2 and 5, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, here, going to be 165, and 750, and 67 and a half, 67 and a half, 70, 70, you're going to be 70, 72 and a half, and 72 and a half, 71, 71, 3, and 73, 71, 3, 71, 3, now 1, 3, so 171, hole 7, hole 6. $1.50. 52 and a half, and 50, 52 and a half, 5, and 55, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, 60, spin them, spin them, spin them, spin them, spin them, 62 and a half, 5, 67 and a half, now 70, 170, 2 and a half, 75, and 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, you get 5, and 75, 75, 77 and a half, 77, 50, and 77 and a half, 77 and a half here, hole, so 175, hole 6. $2. 25 and 25, and 5, and 5, and 5, and 5, 10, group 10, and 15, and 20, and 220, group 20, group 20, group 20, group 20, group 20, 220, and now 20, add and tone, 220, 215, 20, 215, 20, and 20, 20 there, group 20, 20 there, group 20 here, group 20, S, 215, 11.
Okay. Mail, please.
5 by 5, 5 by 5.
6 by 4. 6 by 4 and 5 by 5s. Nice little cows. Nice little stock cows, guys. 17. 17 and a half, yes, 1750, and 17 and a half here, 17 and a half here, 18, group 19, and 2001, and 21, 21, 21, 50, and 20 and 2, and 22, 22, 22, 22, 2200, group 2200, group 2200, group 22 and a half, 22 and a half, 2250. Paul, you're out. 22 and a half, 2250, and 20, 22 and a half, group 22 and a half. Online, you're out. 2250, and 20, 22 and a half, group 20, 22 and a half, group 22 and a half here. Sold them. 2200, Patswold. Patswold.
No, no, no.
No, who'd you have?
Trey, Cook.
Oh, Trey Cook.
There's two. Two here.
Just 2. $10 by 5 on the black baldy. What's the black one? 8 by 5. 8 and 10 years old. They're 5 months bred. All right, right there, here, 1750, and 17 and a half, 18, 1800 here, have a 19, bit of a half, go to 2000, go to 21, 21, 21 and a half, and 2150, and 2 and a half, and 2250, and 20, 2 and a half, go to 20, 2 and a half, go to 2250, and 22 and a half here, half here, bit of a half here, go to 20, 2 and a half, go to half. Sold them 2200 McGee. 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, 42 and a half, 45, 45, 47, 47, 50, and now 53, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 57, 50, and 7, 53, 50, 50, 50, now 53, they that big, now 50, now 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, sold 147 and a half on Booker.
8, there's 8 of them.
The ocho. There you go.
What was it?
147 and a half, Booker, what number? 21.
You got all the numbers? You gonna bring them back?
Dollar. 105 and 105, 105, 85, 85, 105, 85, and 10, going to be 110, going to be 110, 10, 15, and down 20, and 120, 125, 122 and a half, 5, and 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, going to be 125, going to be 125, and 25, 85, 85, 85, and 750, now 30. 130 and half, 30, going to be 30, 30, going to be 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, and 30, 32 and a half, going to be 30, 32 and a half here, book 130, 11.
Booker 11.
Pretty nice cows here, 35, 37.50, and 30, 37, 40, 42 and a half, 42.50, and 45, 45, 45, 43, 43, 2 and a half, 43, and 43, 4, and 44 to 5, 45, going to be 44 to 5, 44, 45, and 44 to 5, 85, 85, 85, 85, here, book 144, 21, 144. All going to go, guys. Some are a little thinner than the others. They're all going to go. Dollar. 105 and 105, 105, 105, 10, going to be 10, 15, 120, and 21, 21, 21, 21, 15, 20, and 23, going to be 27, 10 and a half, 20, 120, 122 and a half, 22, 55, and 20 and a half, 5, and 20 and a half, 5 here, 25, 22 and a half, 25 here, 23. 122 and a half, 3. 122 and a half, going to be 3, and 23, going to be 3. So 122 and a half, Chris 14. Four and 5 months bred. Nice cows, guys. 4 and 5 months bred. 19-year-olds. All right, right there, here, 17 and a half, and 17, 18, 18 and a half, here, 19, half, 2, 50, 1, 50, 2, 53, and 23, and 23 and a half, and 23 and a half, 23 and a half, 24, 24, 24, 24, 2400, and 3 and a half, going to get 4, and 3 and a half, 400, going to be 2400, going to be 2400, going to be 24, going to be 100. McGee, 2350. $1.50. $1.55. Yeah, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 55, 60, 160, 155, 60, and 60, 165, and 70, 175, 75, 80, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, 85, here, 85 here, so 180. S16.
Comes back in here, we need to see if he wants to take that cow. If he wants to PO her.
what now?
If he comes back in here, we need to ask him if he wants to take that cow home. Because she probably does have a cow. Maybe she lost it, but
135, 35, 37, 37, 40, 40, we get 2.5, 42.5, 45, 45, 45, you get 5 here, 45, and 45, 47, 47, 47, 45, 47, how to hang, going to be half here, so 145, Chris 10. 25, 25, 27 and a half, 27 and a half, going to be 32 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, 37 and a half, going to be 142 and a half, 42, 50, and 42 and a half, 45, and 45, 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 50 and a half, 50, we get 50, 150, and 7 and a half, going to be 150, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50 here, Booker, 147 and a half, 21. Where'd he go? 220. 220, 30, and 220, we get 30, 20, we get 30, 20, we get 30, 220, 30, and 220, 30, 30, we get 30, going to be 20, we get 30, 20, 30, 20, and half 30 here, going to be 20, we get 30, Chris, 220, 7X. 6 years old, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, outside, 37, 50, and 40, and 40, we get 2 and a half, 5, and 45, we get 47, and 52 and a half, we get 2 and a half, 52, 50, and 2 and a half, we get 2 and a 5, 55, now 5, you both have 55, 55, 7 and a half, 57 and a half, 57, 50, and 57 and a half here, 155, 13. 35, 35, 35, 37, 37, 35, 37, 37, 50, and 37 and a half here, half and a half here, and half here, 37, 50, and 30, 57, going to be 37 and a half here, Gibbon, 135.
What do you say? What do you say? Oh, smile.
10 years and 6 months, 2,000. 6 months bread, 2,000, 2,100, 21, and 20, and 21, 21, 21, 50, and 21 and a half here, 21, 50, and 21 and a half, 21 and a half, 21 and a half, now 2, and 22 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, we get 3, now half, 23, 24 and a half, 24 and a half, 24, 50, and 20, we get 4 and a half, going to be 20, we get 4 and a half, going to be 24 and a half, Solder, 2,400, Maggie. 125, 27 and a half, 27 and a half, 7 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 and a half, going to be 32 and a half, 35 here, 37 and a half, 37 and a half, 40, and 40, we get 2 and a half, 5, and 47 and a half, 47 and a half, 50, we get 50, we get 50, and 7 and a half, going to be 150, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, now 2 and a half, now 52 and a half, now 5, sir, 55, 55, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, great, 155, 10. 52 and a half, 52 and a half, now 1, and 50, 51, 51, 51, 51, 41, and 41, 3, 41, 3, we get 3, and 41, we get 3, 43, 5, and 45, 7, 45, going to be 7, 5, going to be 7, so 145, Chris, 10.
she's bred, I believe.
7 years and 6 months. She's a little slow getting around. $1. $5. 105 and 10, 110, 15, 20, and 20 by 23, 125, 125, 125. You're out, Rob. 125, 30. Now 30, and 25, going to be 30, we get 30, 25, going to be 30, no, going to be 35, 40, 145, $1.45. Guys are all out there. 145, 145, 50, $1.50, Paul. 150 and 45, we get 50, we get 50, now 5, $1.55, sold, 150, McGee. $65, and 7 and a half, 72 and a half, 72 and a half, 75 here, 75, 77 and a half, 77 and a half, 77 of 80, and now 82 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 81, 83, 81, 3, and now 3, going to be 81, 83, going to be 81, 3, sold, 181, whole 7. 65, 65, 65, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 50, 67 and a half, half 70, 72 and a half, 72 and a half, 75, and 75, 75, 77 and a half, 77 and a half, and 80, and now 83, 82, 84, 86, 86, 8, now 90, 190. 190 and 90 with 93, group 90, group 90, there, group 90, group 90, group 90, group 90, group 190. Sold 188 Jones. You want to pin him separate from the mother bulls, Trevor? Keep him separate. Put him on bull X. Keep him separate.
See if he wants to buy this one.
Chocolate flavored bull? Chocolate milk, $1. 50 cents a pound. 60 cents a pound. 60 cents a pound. 70, 80, 90, $1. 10, 20, 30, 40. $1.40. 130, 140. You bidding? $1.40. 130 if you get 40. 130 if you get 40. 130 if you get 40. Sold 130. S9.
He's not scared.
If you went black, I bought it. But
Chocolate's worth more. Yep.
I like that black baldy bull pretty good, Trevor.
I got one. Hamburg. That was. That's a bit cool. They said we were trying to sneak around and buy one in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the week. So it didn't work.
you like your weight trials. I don't know if you got more. You got one more, Bobby?
What's your back, Antone?
$125, yeah, 25, 25, 25, 25, 27, about 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37, about 37, about 37, about 140, 40, 40, now 40, and 40, 43, we get 42 and a half, 45, and 45, 43, 43, 43, 42 and a half, 43, 4, 44, now 5, 45, you get 5, and 45, we get 5, 40, 45, we get 5, 45, now 5, 45, we get 5, we get 5, we get 5, we get 5, so 144, Booker, 11. Sir, I wish you luck. I've only got one. You've got a herd of them. $120 and 22 and a half and 20, we get 2 and a half here, a little bit 25 and 7 and 32 and a half, 31 and 30 here, 31, 31, 31, 35, we get 31, we get 31, now 32 and 32, 31, 32, 31 and 2, 3 and 33, we get 34, 5 and 35, group of 6, 135, group of 6, Booker, 135, 11. Collins made her high school cheer team, had tryouts last week. She was pumped. Yeah. Thank you. 110. 110, 15, yeah, 10 here, 110 and 15, and 21, 21, 22 and a half, and 25, 25, 27, 27, 27, 27, 27, 27, 50, and 20, 7, going to be 27 and a half here, 127 and a half here, sort of 125, gray 5. $35, yeah, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 5, and 45 and 7, 47, 47, 47, 50, and 40, 7, going to be 40, 7, going to be 40, 7, going to be 47 and a half here, so 145, Booker 21. She's a little 4-year-old gal. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55 here, 55, 60. It's 60 there, 5 now, 60 here, going to be 160, and 55, 60 here, that's 155, 2, 21.
Hey, Charlie.
Familia time. Hey, look at here, guys. A little set of 2-year-olds. Guys got their first babies outside. 3,000, I'm going to get 3. 3,000, I'm going to get 3. 3,000, I'm going to be 3. I'm going to get 3,000, I'm going to be 3,000, I'm going to get 3,000, and 2,500, and 2,550, and 2,500, I'm going to be 6.5, and 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 2,800 a half, 8.5, I'm going to get 9, and 9.5, 9.5, I'm going to get 3, and 1, and 31, 2, and 32, 32, 33, 33, 32, 3, 32.50, and 30, I'm going to get 2.5, I'm going to be 32.5, I'm going to be 32.50, and 30, I'm going to get 2.5, bit about half, here, going to be 32.5, here, going to be half, here, going to be 32.5, 32.50. Chris, 3,200, 8. $3,000, I'm going to get 3, and 3,000, 31, and 31, 31, 32, 32, 32, 31, 2, 3, and 33 and a half, 33 and a half, 33, 50, and 30, I'm going to get 3 and a half, going to be 33 and a half, going to get 33 and a half, going to be 33, 50, and 33 and a half, going to be 33 and a half, 33 and a half, 33 and a half, here's a little bit 3,300, same way. Bob, save some of that whistling for tomorrow. Save some of that whistling for tomorrow. Here's a 5-year-old, guys. 2,000. 2,100, yeah, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 2,100, 2,100, 2,100, and 21, 2, and 2, we're going to get 3, 23, 24, 25, here, 25, 600, 25, 600, and 25, going to be 600, and 25, going to be 600, here, 25, going to be 2,600, and 25, going to be 2,600, here, 25, going to be 6, hike, 2,500, 1. Keep her separate. Just those 33, 3,200. What'd she bring, 2,500? I'll write these down. How old's ages? 7 and 8-year-old families here. 2,000, 2,100, and 21, yeah, 21, and 20, and 21, 21, and 2, we get 3, 24 and a half, 2,500 a half, half of the going to be 6 and a half, 27, and 27.50, and 7, 7, 7, 8, 100, and 2,800 a half, here, 8 and a half, going to be 28.50, and 28 and a half, now 28.59, and now 9, going to be 2,900, 9.50, and now 9, going to get 9 and a half, 3, and 3,000, going to get 3,000, and 3,000, and 3, and 3,050, and 30.50, 50 and a half, here, yacht bin, 30.50, the yacht bin, 30.50, and 30.50 and a half, here, half and a half, here, going to be 3,050, and 30, 50, 50 and a half here, half here, half here, going to be 3,000, going to be 50, 3,100, 31 and a half, 3,200, 32 and a half, 33, 3,300 now 3, and 33 to get 3, and 33 to get 3, 3,300, 33 to get 3 here, sold them 32.50, JH. $1.50. Young cows here. $1.55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. 55. Chicken 5 here. 55. 55. 55. 55. And 55 here. 5 here. 60. And now 5. How's it get to 70? 175. 75. Going to be 80 now. 85. Going to be 85 and 90. Going to be 195. And 95 and 2. Going to be 2. 5. Going to be 2. 10. 15. 20. And 225. Going to be 225. And 225 here. 5. 5 here. 225 here. Chris. 220. 3X. For good. Wake house. 25. Yeah, 25. 25. 25. 27. 25. 27. 27. Going to be 30. We get 2 and a half. 35. 7 and a half. 40. 140. And 40. 43. We get 42 and a half. 42 and a half. 5. And 40. 5. 750. And 7 and a half. 50. And now 50. We get 50. We get 50. We get 50. We get 50. So 147 and a half. Booker. 11. Got a nice set of cows, Andy. One plus and 2 years old, and they are heavy bred guys right there in the third try. 7 and 8, 6 to 8 months bred. 2,000. 2,100. So all the calves are going to have 2,100 and 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 2, 2,200, 3, 4, and 24 to have, 24 to have, 24, 50, and 20 to get 4 to have, going to be 24 to have, going to be 24 to have, going to be 24, 50. Now 5, 20, 500. Now half, 550, 600, 2,600, 2,600, 2,600, and 2,600 here, going to be 2,600 here, going to be 2,600 here, going to give them something to do this summer. 2,600, 2,600, and 2,600 there, now 6 here, going to be 2,600. Sold them $25.50 MW. Here's some 3 and 4 year olds. They're 8 months bred, guys. 2,000. 2,100 and 21 and 25, going to be 2, 22, going to get 3, and 23, 24, 25, 25, 55 to hand, 25 to hand, going to be 26 and a half, and 26, 7, and 27 and 7, 7 and 7 and 700, going to be 2,700 and a half, and 750 and a half here, 8, and 28 and a half here, 8 and a half, going to be 28.50, and 28 and a half here, 8 and a half, going to be 28.50, and 28 and a half here, 8 and a half here, 8 and a half here, so about 2,800, Chris, 3. Nice cows. Andy? You girls come back and see us again, okay? See y'all. $0.50 a pound. 55, and now 60, going to be 70, going to be 80, going to be 90, and $1 here, going to be $1 a pound, going to be 110, going to be 110. What about 5? 10, 15, 110, 15, 20, 5, 125, sold 120, S, 4X. Steer. 4-year-old heifer, $1. 110 and 110 here, 110, 110, 20, and 10, 20 here, 120, going to be 10, 20, going to be 110, 20, going to be 110, 20, going to be 110, going to be 120, 30, 40, 50, 60, 150, 60, 150, 160, 70, 170, sold 160. Who you got? Ike, 5. 125, you 27 and a half, now 32 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, going to be 142 and a half, 45, 45, 47 and a half, 50, and 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a 5, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, 60, and 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 2 and a half here now, 5, 167 and a half, 167 and a half, Booker, 165, 21. $51, $51, $51, 3, $51, $53, $59, $3, $53, $55, $55, $55, $57, $59, $59, $57, $9, $61, and now to going to be 62, $61, $62, to get to same way, $161.
Bred cow. What is it? What is it?
Yeah, this piece good. Koi.
5x3.
All right, she's a 5-year-old. She's 2 months bred. 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half, 16, have a 17, have an 18, 1850, 18 and a half, out of line, 1850, 1850 and a half, 19, 1950, and 19 and a half, and 2, and 2,000, have a half, 2,000, and 2,000, 2, sold her, 1950, Chris 3.
Okay, we're good.
Damn dope. How much you get, Ricardo?
Dollar bill.
$1?
Yeah.
110. 120. 130. 140. 150. Huh? 160. Are you sure? S, 150. 9. Little 3-year-old, $1. 110 and 110, good to be 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 120 and 10, 20, good to be 10, 20, good to be 10, 20, good to be 120, 110, 20 and 20, 30. Now 30, now 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 180, 170, 80, 170, give 80, and 70, give 80, 170, give 80, there you're going to be 80, 170, give 80, there you're going to be 80. So 170, Ricardo 2. Good luck, Ricardo. Oh, like her bag too well. 8x7. She looks like a man eater. 130. 135, 40, 2.5, 45, 7.5, 47, 50. Now 50. 150. 150, 2.5, 5. 155 and 55, 7.5 and 57, 57, 57, 57.5, 57.5. Here, Cavis. 155 on 5. 35, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, 40, 42 and a 5, and 45, 45, you give 45, and a 5, 45, 45, you're at John, 45, 145, and 45, 45, 45, 55, here, Booker, 142 and a half, 21.
What's some of the cheaper pairs, man?
I don't remember. 2,500. No sale next Monday. I took my son fishing Friday. I kicked him out of school. I didn't kick him out of school. We went to 3 ponds and caught 1 fish. I said, I'm done. I'll never go back. He goes, oh, we're going back next week. I could care less to ever go again. It was miserable. It was terrible. 1.
How many beers did you drink?
0. That was another problem. I didn't have no sodas with me. 125. 127 and a half, and 27 and a half, going to be 32 and a half, 35, 37 and a half, 40, 140, 142 and a half, 42, 50, and 42, 5, and 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, 45, now 45, we get 5, we get 5, now 5 here, so 140, 2 and a half, S4. 4 years and 5 months, 2,000 and 2,100, 2,100, here, 2,150, and 2,150, and 21 and a half, here, half and a half, here, going to be 2150, and 21 and a half, and 2, and 23 and a half, now 3, and 23 and a half, 23 and a half, 2350, and 20, yeah, Paul, and 23 and a half, here, 4, and 2,400 and a half, 24 and a half, 2450, and 24 and a half, here, half, here, half, here, bit of a half, here, half, sold her 2,400, Chris, 55. Make her a 3. Gotcha. Eight years and 6 months. Pretty nice cow. 2,000. 2,100. Yeah, 21. And 21, 21, 21, 50. And 21 and a half. Going to be 21 and a half. Going to be 2. Going to be 50. Going to get 3. Going to get 50. Going to get 4 and a half. 24 and a half. 24 and a half. You both out. 2,500. 2,500. 25, Paul. 25. 2,500 and 2,500, 25, 25, 25, 25 and a 5 here, 25, 25, 25, 5. Hike, 24 and a half, 1. $35, yeah, 35, 37, 37, 42 and a half, 45, 47, 50, 50, 2 and a half, 2 and a 5, and 55, 57, 57, 57, 57, 50, yeah, 57 and a half here, half here, Cavis 155, 3. Next time I'm dropping him off at a pond and he can go himself. Yep. Probably. Oh.
10 cents.
10 cents a pound, 25 cents a pound, 50 cents a pound, $75, $1.10, 110, 120, 110, 120, 130, 120, if you get 30. Sold 120, S1. $135, yeah, 35, 35, 30, 25, and 27, 27, 27, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 32, 55, and 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, and 35, and 35, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, and 40 here, John, yeah, 40, and 42 and a half, 2 and a 5, and 45, 45, 45, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47 and a half here, S, 145, 13. $10 years and 3 months, $1. 110 and 110, 110, going to be 20, going to get 32 and a half, 5, and 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, going to get 35, 2 and a half, 35, 32 and a half, 35 here, 32 and a half, 35 here, S, 132 and a half, sorry, Paul, on number. All right, he said you could have it, Paul McGee, put it on McGee. Everybody's happy today. Thank you. $35, yeah, 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 50, and 37, 40, and now 40, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 40, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 40, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 42 and a half, 42 and a half, now 5, 145, 3, 5, 145. Give it 143. Bunch of cows left. Sold several. $10 years and she's 7 months bred. 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half here, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2, 1, 21, 21, 21, 2100, and now 2, 22, 23, 24, 25, 24 and a half, Paul. 24 and a half, and 24, 50, and 20, 24 and a half, 20, 24 and a half, 24 and a half, 24 and a half, 24 and a half. Sold her 2,400, hike 1.
That's all we get. We can get maybe 5. I'd take them and drive all this way for 2 head.
Tired, Lid?
Long weekend.
Didn't party all weekend.
Did you graduate all weekend? Graduate all weekend?
No, I traveled all week.
You did? Did you go see your grandbaby? Did you?
Went to Weatherford, Lebanon,
Oh, heavens. It's not. Lebanon's a damn long way away.
Is that Billy Owens? Can't tell. Looks like him. But I don't think he wears suspenders.
Did y'all buy a horse? Or did you sell a horse?
sell, but we didn't sell. We good. We don't really want to sell it.
I see.
Y'all want some puppies? Started having them at 2 o'clock this morning.
This is the one that you said.
I thought you said
$1.50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, and 60 here, going to be 165, and 70, 170, 165, 70, 70, S, 165, 11, X.
Yellow. I have no idea. Huh? I don't know who he is. I don't have a clue who he is. Do you? I don't know who Stanley Burris is.
These two go together?
She said 10. 10.
Yep, $1.50. 55, yeah, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, $1.55, and 55 here, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, S, 150, 11X. Might have a
Puppy auction.
I think that's gonna swallow him.
yeah, big time.
We used to sell burgers,
Sell what?
dogs. Cheap dogs.
5 and open, 120. 125, yeah, 25, and 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, and 30, 30, get to 40, 45, and 45, and 50, 55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, and half, 5 here, now 5, 55, so 150. Chris, 3X.
Have you seen George's cows come through here? It's a 2-year-old.
$1.50. 55, yeah, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55. She got a little old bump down there. See that? Is that all right? 155. Cabinets, 150. Nothing.
We come there and see if George's cow has
So why don't you tell them, please?
No, just, you better do it back there. Somebody will get hurt. She's got a,
Dollar.
she's got a,
Got an ouch. $1 bid. $1 here. $1 here. 105. $1.05. $5. $5 here. 105. 110. 110. 15. And 15. 20 here. 120. And 20 by 20 here. 120. 20. 20. So 115 S1. $35, yeah, 37, 37, 42 and a half, 45, 47, 50, 50 and a half, 52 and a half, 51, 3, and 53, 55, 55, 55, 55, 53, 55, 7, 57, 9, 159, 60. It's 60 here, going to be 60, and going to be 60 here, Booker, 159, 21. In 6 months, I like this guy. 2,000, 20, 100, 9 by 6, 2,000, 2,100, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, and 2, and then 2, 50, 3, 50, 4, 50, 5, 25, 50, and 25 of the van, 25 of the van, 25 of the van, 25 of the van, going to be 25, 50, and 25 of the van, you give half, 600, 2,600, TK, 25, 50, 3. $7 years and 3 months. 1,500, 15 and a half. 15 and a half here. Half here. Going to be half here. Half and a half here. Going to be half. 16. 1600 here. 16 and a half. Now 17. Going to be half. 18. 18 and a half. Going to be 18. 1900. 18 and a half. 19. Bit of 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 1900. Chris, 18 and a half. 33. 55.
It's a pretty check.
7 years and 6 months. 17 and a half. Yes, 17 and a half here. 17 and a half here. 17 and a half. 17 and a half. 17 and a half. 17 and a half. Now 18 and a half. Now 19. Half and 2 and 2000. 21, 21, 21, 2 and 22, 23, 23, 22 and a half. 3 and 23, 50 and half. 4. We're going to be 24. We're going to be 24. We're going to get 24 and a half. 24 and a half. 24, 50 and 24 and a half here. Half and a half. Going to be 24 and a half. Now half here. Solder. 2400. Trey Cook. Dollar. 105 and 100 on the 5 here. Go to 105. Bit of 5. Bit of 5. Bit of 5. Still in 105. 105. 105. 105. Bit of 5. Bit of 5. Bit of 5. 105 here now. 5. 105. 105. 105. Chris. $1. 12. $0.50 a pound. 60 cents a pound. 70. Going to be 80, 90. Now 95. $1. $5. 110. 15. 120. 125. 125 here. Going to be 125 here. Going to be 125. Going to be 5 here. S. 120. 9.
Goodbye. Breed lots of effort.
Gentle. Not in El Reno. Yeah.
$1. $1 a pound. Going to be $1 there. 75 and 75, 80 and 75. Going to be 80 cents a pound. 75. Going to be 80, 75. Going to be 85, 85 and 90. 95, 95, 95, 95, 95 and 95 there. 95. 95. 95. 95. Going to be $95. $1. Solder 95. Ricardo 2. Six years old. She's 8 months. 1,500. 15 and a half. 15 and a half here. Half here. 15 and a half. 16. Now 17. Going to be 50 now. 18. Half. 18 and a half. 19. And 19. 19. 19. Going to be 19. Going to be 19. Half. 19 and a half. 19. 50 and 2. 2,050. 2050 and 2050 have 1 and 21 21 21 21 2100 and 2100 and 2100 here going to be 2100 and 21 21 2100 solder 2050 Cook Trey Cook
2050, yep.
7 years and 5 months. 75 right there here, 1750, and 17 and a half here, 1800 here, 18, 18, 1818, 1800 here, 18, 17 and a half, going to be 1850, and 19, 1950, and 19 and a half here, half and a half here, going to be half here, going to be 1950, and 19 and a half here, half and a half here, going to be 19 and a half here, and die. Solder 1900 Ricardo. Get your milk replacer ready.
Good luck.
You got a bag of milk? You got a bag of milk? Five by five. How's her udder? I can't see it too good. 1,500. Don't you jump up here. $1, 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. $1.55. 60. 5. Sold 160. McGee. Got for loading her, Paul. 4 and open. $1.50. 55, yeah, 55, now 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 35, 40, and 35, 40, 35, 40, 35, 45, here, 45, there, 45, 45, and 45, 45, 50, $1.50, 50, 50, 50, 45, 50, 45, 50, 45, 50, here's 145, Booker 21. 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 40, 40, 2 and a half, 45, and 45, 45, 45, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47, 50, now 50, 150, 150, 50, 50, Booker, 147 and a half, 11. How many cows got left, Antone? 100? Quite a few. I feel like we're in a drought. We're selling so many cows. 7 by 8, 2,000. 20, 100, 21, 21, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23, 24, 25, 25, 600, 25, 50, and 25, 25, 600, and 25, going to be 2600, and 25, going to be 26 and a half, and a half here, half and a half, going to be 27, and 27, and 7, and 7 and a half, and 27, going to be 27, going to be 27, going to be 27, and that weight, and 2800, and 2800, going to be 800 here, so 27 and a half, hold 2. It's your time, daughter bid, 105, and 105, 105, outside 5 here, 10, good to be 10, 15, 20, and 25, 25, 25, 30, and 35, 35, 40, 45, 45, 50, and now 55, and 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, now 5 here, 5, 5, and 5 here, best, 150, 9.
Okay. Don't let anything in.
Do one at a time.
Hang on, Bob.
You got 3?
What are you bidding on, Rob?
Your red baldy. Your red baldy.
No, it was mine.
Yeah, I know.
She knows the,
Yes.
she got a gift, the gift from she got a gift like a month ago. She's okay. She's really hungry. Looks like she's sick. She got like she got something inside. Maybe she got something.
Maybe.
So what you say? What you gonna come? You say you gonna be poking your kids? That's it.
Puppy. 10.
I'll make a little money.
No, I don't. No.
What?
Because they're not bred right. Bred my good male dog died 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're just going to quit having them.
What kind of?
I've got this border collie male at the house. He bred the poodle. Pretty particular.
So you're gonna give away those?
Here's the dad. Yeah, he ain't real pretty. There's the poodle. It's called party poodle. Probably. How many you want?
Here's one. One more.
One. born. He was just born today.
If you can sell it, if you want to give it away. I'm gonna pay next to 2 weeks.
Check it out. Not a very good neighbor, is it? Redneck. Oh, bring another one.
Seven years and 4 months. 2002, 2000, here, 1, and 21, 21, 21, 21, 50, and 21 and a half, here, have and a half, here, have and a half, 21, 50, and 21 and a half, here, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 50, not 2, and 22 out of here, 2200, and 21, 2, 1, 50, not 200, here, group of 2, 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 here, shoulder, 21, 50, McGee. Six years and 7 months. 2002 and 2000 here 21 21 21 21 and a half here 1 half 50 50 3 50 50 4 and 24 and 24 and a half 24 and a half 2500 and 2500 and 25 25 25 25 2500 and 2500 5 here 2500 koi 24 and a half 11. Dollar 50. 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 75, 57, 57, group is 60, we get 2 and a half, 255, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 7 and a half, and 67, 50, yes, 67 and a half, here, half, here, half, here, so 165, yes, 16.
What was that cow? 6 by 7? Pretty much.
I don't know. Somebody else like her.
I liked her. Ricardo liked her. You liked her.
$175, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 77, 77, 50, and 77, going to be 77, going to be 77, going to be 750, and 77 and a half here, going to be 77, now 80, and now 83, 89, now 79, now 78, now not 80, 183, 1, 80, 1, 82, 83, 83, 4, 84, 4, there, going to be 84, there, going to be 83, now 4, there, going to be 83, now 4, there, going to be 83, going to get 4, D, 183, move.
Hi, Gary. One.
I can catch more down the bar ditch than that.
One. And I said, did you enjoy that? He goes, I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was, I'll go back again. I go,
$50, 55, 60, now 5, 70 to 70, and 65, now 70, 170, 175, 75, 75, 75, you get 5 here, 75, 80, 185, going to be 85, going to get 90, and 190, going to get 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, going to get 195, going to be $2, $2, 205, 210, 210, 15, 220, 220, 225, 30, 235, 40, 235, going to get 40, so 235, Ricardo. $1.50. 55, yeah, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, and 5, and 65, 2.5, and 2.5, 2.5, go to 2.5, 2.5, go to 62.5, and 2.5, 5, and 65, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, 5, now 5 here, so 162.5, hole 6. $50, not 2.5, yeah, 52.5, we get 2.5, go to 2.5, we get 2.5, go to 2.5, we get 52, 55, and 55, and 57, 57, 57, 57, 57, 57, 57, 60, and 60, now 2.5, and 2.5 here, we'll have a 5, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 65, we get 5, now 5 here, 65, and 65, we get 5, we get 5, hole, 62.5, 6.
OPE.
Opie.
Opie. Chris, don't it?
19.
See him. Oh, Andy's?
These are Andy's. 120. 2.5, and 22, and a half, 5, and 25, it'll get 75, going to be 30, it'll get 2.5, 31, 33, 35, 37, 37, now 9, going to be 39, 40, 1, and 41, 41, 41, now 2, and 41, 2, 3, it'll get 43, it'll get 44, 43, 44, 43, 4, and 43, now 43, it'll get 45, and 45, it'll get 4600, and 46, 7, and 7, 7, 7, 8, 47, 8, now 9, going to be 9, hot, it'll get 9, 50, and 53, it'll get 50, and 45, it'll get 50, here, going to be 45, it'll get 50, it'll get 50, it'll get 50, here, it'll go to Booker, 149, 11, 149, Booker, 11.
What are you doing?
Bring a jacket.
35, 35, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, and 40, we get 2.5, 5, and 40, now 7, 50, and 53, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, now 50 here, 50 there, sold, 147.5, Booker 12. Not bad. Still working on Andy's. 6 more. Eight to 10 years old. 4 and 5 months. Few little sore-footed cattle. A couple sore-footed. We're all gonna go, guys. 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half here, half and a half here, 16, 17, 18, half, 1,900 and a half, and 19 and a half, and 19 and a half here, 19 and a half here, 2,050, and 20, 50, 50 and a half here, half here, half here, going to be half, and 20, 50, 50 and a half here, half here, half here, McGee, 2,000. Ten more Andys. Here's more bred cows. 8 to 10 years old. Look like they're kind of 3 to 5 months. You saw the little babies they had there, guys. Nice calves are going to have you. Nice little stock cows, guys. Are 3 to 5 months red. 1,500. 15 and a half, 15 and a half, 16, 17, 17 and a half, 18, 18, 19, good to be had, 2,000, 20, 50, and 20, 50 and a half, and 20, 50 half one, and 21, 21, 21, 2100 here, 21, 21, 2100, and 2100 here, going to be 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 2100. Sold them 2,050, McGee, 2050. 145, 45, 47, 45, 47, 45, 47, 47, 47, 47, 47, 50, and 47, 50, $1.50 there, 50, 50, 50 and a half, 50 there, going to be 150, 50 and a half, 50 there, going to be 50, Booker, 147 and a half, 21. Booker, 21.
Around a few little ponds around Mustangs. Maybe
Did you get bad health?
I bought my wife a new Jeep Cherokee. She done a chicken chase Saturday, and she said, "Oh my God, it's hailing on my new car." I'm at El Reno golf course, high and dry. I get home that afternoon, it was soaking wet. And
They're 8 to 10 years old, or 4 to 6 months. 1,500, 50 and a half, 15 and a half, 16, 1700 and a half, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 17 and a half, 1750, 1750, 50 and a half, 17 and a half, 17, going to be 18 and a half, 18 and a half, 18, 50, 50 and a half, 19, half and 2, and 2,050, and 2050, 2050, and 2050, 50 and a half, 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 going to be 2050 and a half, going to be half, going to be half, McGee, 2,000. So I don't know if I got any hail at my house, but it wasn't bad if we did.
The way it sounded, you didn't know if you did.
Yeah. 'Cause I didn't see like any limbs down or leaves or anything like that. So
Here's opened.
A few shorts there.
Few shortbreads. Rest of them be open. They're all going to go. 125, 25, 27, 50, and 27, going to be 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 35, 35, 37, 37, going to be 40, going to get 2 and a half, 41, and 40, 41, going to get 45, going to get 41, going to get 41, going to get 41, Booker, 140, 12. Supposed to be bad tonight.
Rich guy.
20 had 29,000 miles on it. 8 to 10 years old, 6, 7 months, 2,000. 2,100 and 21, and 21, and 21, 21, 21, 50, and 21 and a half, and 21 and a half, 21 and a half, 21 and a half, you're going to be 2150, and 21 and a half, you're going to be 21 and a half, here 2, and 2,200, you're going to be 2,200, you're going to be 2,200 and a half, 23, 2,300 and a half, 24, 2,400, and 2,400, 2,400 here, so 2,350, hike, 1. 3 and a 4-year-old, $1.50. 55, yeah, 55, now 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60. It's 60 there, 155, 160, and 5, and 65, 70, 175, $1.80, 5, going to be 90, 95. Now 2, now 5, 210, 15, and 210 and 15, 10 and 15, hike, 210, 5. Holler at him, Gary. Oh. Threes and a 4-year-old, 120. 125, 25, it'll get 35, it'll get 40, it'll get 5, it'll get 45, 50, $1.55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 50, now 5, and 55 here, 55, now 55, 55, 55, 55, now 5 here, 5, it'll get 5, it'll get 150, 21.
supposed to get Western tonight. I don't know if we're gonna have baseball practice or not.
Nothing.
Mine are still in school.
I can remember when I was a kid, I'd go up on the city and Bob would send me out in the back to help them boys. Goddamn, I'll be glad the school starts again. Come on, dig it and don't mess it up.
I like milk cows. Oh my God.
8 to 10 years old, 6, 7 months. Yep. Here's a Garrison cows. Nice cows right there. 2,000, 2,100, and 21, and 21, and 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 50, and 21 and a half here. Now 2, and 23, going to be 2 and a half, going to be 23 and a half, going to be 3, 23 and a half, 23 and a half, 24, 24 and a half, 24 and a half, 5, and 25, 50, and 25 and a half, going to be 25 and a half, going to be 25 and a half, going to be 25, 50, and 25 and a half, going to be 25 and a half, going to be 25 and a half, going to be 25, going to be half. Sold them at 2,500. Koi 11 or 10. 10.
Is that for you guys? You're gonna take that 11 then.
5 to 7 months. The older cows, 5 to 7 months. 2,000, 2,100, 24, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 2100, 21, 21, 21, 50, and 21, and 20, and 21 and a half, 21, 50, and 21 and a half here, 1 half, 1 half, 1 half here, going to be 15, let's go, 15, 16, 17, 17 and a half, and 17 and a half here, 18, going to be a half, now 1900 and a half, 19 and a half, Paul, 1950, now 2, now half, now 1, 21 and a half, 2150, and 21 and a half here, half and a half here, you're going to be 2150. Paul, you're out, 2150, and 21 and a half here, 1 half, 1 half and a half here, you're going to be 21 and a half, 21 half. Sold them, 2100, hike, 1. $125, 25, and 25, 27, and 25, 27, and 27, and 27, and 25, 27, 50, and 27 and a half here, $10, 110, 15, and 10 and 15 here, 110, 15 here, going to be 10 and 15, going to be 10 and 15, Booker, 110, 21, 12.
It's not black, is
Who?
it? The Wagoneer.
Quarter of it is. The top. White and black. Yeah.
$65, as a good divide, 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 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 70, 72 and a half, 7250, and 72 and a half, 72 and a half, 72 and a half, 5, and 75, 75, 77 and a half, 750, and 77 and a half, 77 and a half, going to be 77 and a half, and 80, now 80, 180, half, 80, 180, 1, 81, 2, 81, 2, 3, 83, 83, 83, sold, 182, whole 7. $85 $85 here, going to be 85, 85, 85, 87, going to be 87, going to be 87 of 90, and 90, going to be 90, 92 and a half, 92, 50, 91, and 91, 91, 91, 91, 2, going to 92, 3, and 93, going to 3, and 93, going to 3, and 93, going to 3, going to 93, going to 3, 92, going to 3, going to 93, going to 3. You ready, Brad? 4, 5, 6, 7. Gibbon Bull, 196. $1.50. 52.50 and 5 and 55 now 55 75 57 going to be 60 and 2 and a half going to get 2 and a half going to be 2 and a half bit of down 2 and a half 5 and 65 7 and a half 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 going to be 67 and a half 70 and 72 and a half and 71 and 70 71 71 71 2 71 2 72 3 and 73 73 3 72 3 and 2 3 72 4 and 74 here 74 74 74 73 now 4 here so 173 hole 6. Young bull. Burning like young bull. $2. 2.5 and 205. It get 5. 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 Here you go to 205 and 205. Now 5. It get 5. It get 5. It get 5. It get 5. Here $1.80. 5 90 190 5 2. $2. 5. You're out. 205 210. 210. You're out of line. 210. 215. So 210. Jones bull. X. Yeah, you can probably pin him with that other bull. Pin him with X. Yeah, Jones Bull X. 65 and 65 and 65 75 75 and 75 77 77 77 750 and 67 and 77 78 78 78 and 9 78 group 9 group 9 80 and 9 here group 85 group 89 group 89 here group 80 90 so 179 hole 7. Six years and 7 months, 2,000. 20, 100, 21, 9, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 2, and 2, we get 3, and 3, we get 4, going to be 25, 600, and 6, 7, and 7, 7, 7, 8, 27, 8, 27, going to be 900, and 28, 9, and 2,900, going to be 9, here, going to be 2,900, out on line, 2,900, and 20, here, going to be 900, going to be 9, and 9, here, 20, here, going to be 9, 9, 20, here, going to be 9, 9, so 2,800, Chris, 3. $10 by 8, 2,000, 2,100, and 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 50, and 21 to hand, 2, now 2, we get 50, we get 3, we get 50, 24, 24 to hand, 24 to hand, 2,500, and 25, and 24 to hand, 2,500, 2550, and 25 to hand, 25 to hand, 25 to hand, 2550, yeah, Paul, 2550, yeah, Paul, 2550, and 20, we get 5 to hand, going to be 20, we get 5 to hand, going to be 25 to hand, going to be 25 to householder, 2,500, Coy, 11. $35, yeah, 35, and 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, and now 40, 40, 40, we get 40, we get 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 42, 50, and 40, we get 2 and a half, 5, and 45, 47, 47, 50, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, so 147 and a half, Booker, 21. Did I get a water earlier? What the heck did I do with it?
Get one on the refrigerator behind you.
That's all.
Be a shock to his system. Sorry, John.
What do you got there? 4x4, 2,000. 2100, 21, 20, 21, 21, 21, 22, 22, 22, 22, 23, we get 4, 24 and a half, 25 and a half, now 6, now 2600, 25 and a half, 600, and 25 and a half, going to be 2600, 5 and a half, going to be 6, Chris, 2553. $2. 210 and 210 and 210 bit of 10 20 group 210 20 there group 210 20 and 20 bit 20 30 and 230 240 bit 250 bit 260 270 and 270 bit 270 265 now 70 270 Chris 265 7x. Foreign object. $35, 35, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, going to be 37, 40, and now 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 40, there you're going to be 140 D, 137 and a half, 1. Six years old. She's 5 months. Got it. There. Going to be 1700, 1750, 17 and a half here. 18, 19, 2, 1, 2, half, 3, and 23 and a half, 2400, 2400, and 24, 24, 24, 2400, and 24. Going to be 24. Going to be 24. Going to be 24. 24. Sold her 2350. Chris 55. Open lady here, 35, 35, and 35, 37, 35, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, you get 2 and a half, go to 45, 45, you get 45, now 5, and 45, 45, 45, 45, now 5 here, 45, you get 5, 45, you get 5, 45, you get 5 here, S, 142 and a half, 13. Hello, Mark. $35, 35, 35, 37, 37, 40, and 40, we get 2 and a 5, and 45, 47, 47, 50, we get 50, we get 50, we get 50, 2 and a half, 2 and a half, 5, and 57, 57, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, and 57, 7, 57, 60. Now 60. Gibbon, 157 and a half. Open cow here, 35, and 35, and 37, 37, 42 and a half, 45, 45, 47, 47, 50, and 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, 52, 50, and 52 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, we get 2 and a half, you're at Rob, 52 and a half, sold 150 cabinets. $0.70 a pound. 75, 75 here, 75, 75, 75, 75, 50 cents a pound, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 5, and 65, 65, 65, 65, 5 here, 5 here, going to be 65 here, solder, 60, Chris 12. Just 60. $75, 75, 77 and a half, and 77 and a half, 77 and a half, 77 and a half, 50, and now here they're going to be 182 and a half, going to be 2 and a half, 5, 85, 85, 85, 85, 87 and a half, going to be 87 and a half, going to be 87 and a half, 87, 87, 67, 87, 87, 87, 88, 88, now 9, 89, now 90, 90, and 90, 89, 90, D-Bull, 189. 75. He's 75 high here. 75, 75, 75, 75, 77, 77, 50. And 70, 77, going to be 77, going to be 77, going to be 80. And now 80 there, 81 here, $80 here, 2. 82, 81, 2, 3, 83, 83, 4. 84 there, 83, 84 there, 83, 4. Hole 7, 183.
Who you got here?
3, 4 to 7 months.
Ryan who?
The Hauser cows, Ryan Hauser, they are 2 years old.
1 to 3,
Or 1 to 3 years old, excuse me.
7 months.
And they're 4 to 7 months. Here's a nice set of bred heifers. Hey, is a nice deal. 2,000 here, 2,100. Yeah, 21, 20, 21, 21, 21, 100 here, 100 here, going to be 2150, 21 and a half, now 2, going to be 2,200 and a half, 2,250, and 20, 2 and a half, going to be 2,250, and 22 and a half here, half here, bit of a half here, going to be 22 and a half, now 3, 23 and a half, 23 and a half, 4, 2,400, 24 and a half, 24 and a half, and 20, 4 and a half, going to be 24 and a half, now 4 and a half, 450, and 450, 50 and a half here, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, 4 and a half, going to be half. TK 2,400 on number 3.
TK3.
Here's a 4x4 and a 5x5. 2,000. In 2,100. In 21. And 21, 21, 21, 2. We get 3, 23, 24, 24, 25 here. 25, 50. And 25 of the man. 25 of the man. Going to be 26 and a half. And 26 and a half. 7. And 27 and a 7 and 7 and 7 and 7 and 700. Going to be 2,700 and a half. 27 and a half. Now 8. 28 and a half. 850 down 9. And then going to be 2,900. Going to be 2,900. Going to be 29. Now 9 here. 2,900. Going to be 9. So 28 and a half. Number 3. Put them on Chris. Number 3. We do have some baby calves. If you guys online are listening, I don't know when we're going to sell them, but we do have some baby calves today after the cow meeting. When will that be? Another hour?
White cows. 8 4.
Both of them the cows right before us.
White cow.
135, yeah, 35, and 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, we get 2 and a half, 42, 55, and 45, 45, 45, 45, we get 45, we get 45, we get 45, we get 45, going to be 5 here, Booker, 142 and a half on 12. I saw him right there at the end, dadgummit. I don't need both of them. That's for tomorrow. Man, 7:30. This. Three, and they're all open. $1.50. 55, 55, 55, 60, 55, 75, and 75, 80, and 75, 85, 85, 85, and 90, 95, 95, 95, now 2, group of 2, now 2, now 2, and 2 bid, and now 2, group of 2, group of 2, now 95, group of 2, here, group of 95, now 2, here, group of 95, group of 2, Chris, 195, 7X. Here's a 5-year-olds. 35, 35, 35, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 2.5, 45, 45, 45, jigga 5 here, 45, 45, 45, now 5, and 45, 5, 45, 47, 47, 50, and now 52, and a good bit 2.5, 5, and 50, 5, 57, 57, 57, 57, 50, 57 and a half here, half here, 57 and a half here, Booker, 155, 21.
Ask Wade if he wants to PO that one.
Which one? Oh.
Mark. Thank you.
35, 35, 35, 35, 37, 35, 37, 37, 37, 37, 37, 40, and now 2.5, 5, and 45, 47, and 50, and 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, and now 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, here, 50 there, here, so 147.5, Chris 10. Thirty-five, 35, 37, 37, 40, 42 and a half, 45, 45, 45, 42 and a half, 5, now 5, 45, 47, 47 and a half. The water's killing me. 147 and a half, 147 and a half, 50, 2 and a half, 52 and a half, sold 150 Booker, 21, 12.
Clear and not yellow.
That's some.
Where'd y'all play golf at?
El Reno.
Good shape.
Yeah, the greens are in great shape. Fairway is just okay, but
I think fairway's big.
they got a new.
Here's a little 4-year-old. Here's Redlands Community College. 2,000, 20, 100, and 21, 21, 2, and 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 26, 7, and 27, and 7, 7, 7, 7, $8, and 2,800, now 9, and 29, 3, and 3,000, 31, and 32, 32, 32, 31, 2, 33, and 33, 33, 32, 3, and 33, 32, 33, 33, 33, 33, 32, going to be 33, 33, 33, solder, 3,200 TK2. I don't have a clue what he's saying. What'd you say?
What they're,
Nope.
they're seeing if he wants PO or now.
125, 30, and 25, 32 and a half, 5, and 37, 40, and 2 and a half, 42 and a half, 45, 45, 45, 45, jigga 5, 45, 45, and 45, 7 and a half, and 47, 47, 50, $1.50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, they're going to be 150, 150, Gibbon, 147.50.
Yes, sir.
200. 220 and 220, 40 and 240, 260, 280, 280, 280, and now 300, 300 a quarter, 300 a quarter, 350, 75, 375, 400 a quarter, 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half, 75, and 475, 5 and a quarter, and 5 and a quarter, 5 and a half, 75, 575, going to be 600 a quarter, and 625, 50, and now 75, going to be 675, yeah, 675, 75, 75, going to be 675 here, going to be 675 here, Kevin Peck, 650. Watch him, Antone.
What'd you get for that?
650. Daughter, 105, and 105, 105, going to 5 and 10, going to be 110, and 15, 20, and 25, 25, 27, and 27, and 30, going to get 30, going to be 30, going to get 30, going to be 30, going to get 30, 250, 32 and a half, 32 and a half, and 30, going to get 2 and a half, going to be 30, going to get 2 and a half, bit of a half here, 5, now 35, 750, and 37 and a half, 750 and a half here, so 135, S4.
Yeses.
10,
12,000. 13,000 for the week. What a cow.
50. 51, 50, 51, 50, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 35, 37, 35, 37, 35, 37, 8, 9, sold 138, cabinets 10. Too full. Too full.
That's our cat.
PO sell tomorrow? PO sell tomorrow. Who?
What do you see, Antonio?
120, 125, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, 27, 25, 27, 27, 27, now 30, and 30, 30, 30, now 32 and a half, 32 and a half, 32, 50, and 30, we get 2 and a half, group 30, we get 2 and a half, group 30, we get 2 and a half, group 2 and a half, here, yes, 130 on 4. Full of cows, Rob? Didn't see many? Okay. Yep. PO him, put him with that other one. 7 tomorrow. $6 tomorrow.
bunch of little calves tomorrow too, Kevin. If you get online early enough tomorrow.
Who's the least? No idea.
Been working on Joe Allen's last couple. Four to 7 years old. Is Joe Allen? Joe Allen, yep, 4 to 7 years old, guys. What a deal.
What a hit right there, 3,000 and 3,100 and 31, 2,500, 2,600 and 2,600 and 7, 9, 23 and 9, 1 and 31, 2 and 32, 31, 2, 32, 32, 32, 32, 32, 31, 2 and 31, 2 and 31, 2, 32, 32, 32, 31, 2, 31, 2, 31, going to be 2 and 30, now 2 and 32, Ben, you're out, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200, you're going to be 31, going to be 2, there, 31, going to be 2. Sold him 3,100, Chris 7.
They start selling cows. There's still cows left.
Okay.
Six by 3, 2,000. 2001 and 2100 and 21 and 20 and 21 21 21 21 2100 here 100 here 21 21 17 half 17 half 18 18 18 19 2000 able to get 2 and 1 and 21 21 2 and 21 200 21 50 and 21 half 21 half here 21 50 and 21 I have now 2 and 22 and half 3 and 23 23 and a half 23 and a half 4 and 2400 going to be 24 and 24 and 24 50 and 20 able to get 4 and a half going to be 20 able to get 4 and a half sold 2,400, hold 2. 30 cents a pound. 30 cents a pound. Who got 30? Now 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 80 cents a pound. Sold 70, S1. That's that same cow that's on all them calendars. That's her, isn't it?
Ace Reed and Lex Graham, they've been using the same cow.
Use that same
for 40
cow.
years. Take one back, then, Tony.
'Cow right there is a 9 by 3. Nice little bag underneath her. 2,000, 2,100, 21, and 20, and 21, 21, 21, 50, and 2,100, and 21, 10, 21, 21, 21, 2,100, 21, outside 1, and 2,100, 21, 21, 21, 2,100, 21, 21, 21, 100. Sold her 2,000, Chris, 55. Five years and 5 months, 2,000, 2,100, and 21, and 20, and 21, 21, 21, 2,100, 3, 24 and a half, 25, and 2,500 to 5, here, 50, and 25 and a half, go to 6, and 2,600 and a half, here, 7, and 27 and a 750, and 750 and a half, here, go to be 27 and a half, here, go to be 27 and a half, here, sold her, 2,700, hold 2. 35, 35, 37 to 37 to 37 to 35, 37, 50, and 37 to going to be 37 to 40, and 40, 40, 47, 1, and 41, 41, 45, 45, 45, 45, 41, 2, and 41, 2, 3, and 44, 43, 4, 43, 4, 4, and 5, and 46, and 45, 6 here, 45, going to be 6 here, so 145, grade 10. 35, 35, and 37, 42, 44, 46, 48, now 50, going to be 4, going to be 600, and 58, and 58, 58, 60, and now 60, 160, going to be 50, going to be 60, so 158, Gibbon. It's okay. That, yeah, that
Still more cows, I believe. They're sorting on some.
still sorting on cows. Got cows on the road.
Probably cows in the road. Yeah.
Still sorting cows. Andy the Foes, little heifers. 250. 250, we get 3, and 2.5, we get 350, and 3.5, going to be 4, we get 4.5, we get 5, 550, 600 and a half, 6.5, 650, 750, 7.5, 750, now 8, 800, Kevin, 800, 800 and a half, 850, 850, 50 and a half, 850, 8 and a half, Kevin Peck, 800. Got farmers.
I know it.
Take care of them now.
I'm trying.
First one's here and the last one's to sell.
I'll get it from him then.
Yeah.
So Jay will get me too.
Yeah. Four little old, three Herefords and a black calf. All little heifers here. 500. 550, and 550, we get 5 to 5, we get 5 to 5, we get 550, and 550, 600, and 600 and a half, 6.5, 700, and a half here, 7.5, 800, 800, 800, going to be 800, going to be 800, we get 800, and 800, and 775. What about 775? 775, 775, and 775, going to be 775, going to be 775. Sold them 750, Chris O.
I think Chris got the young cow.
Wade.
Yeah, I think you still got the cow. The young wetback cow from earlier.
Here comes the boys. 500. 550, and 5 out of 5, going to be 6 to half, going to be 7, going to be 50, 800, 800, 800, 800, 800, a half, 850, 900, 950, 9 a half, going to be 9 a half, 9 a half, going to be 950, and 950, 9 a half, 9 a half, 950, 950, 9 a half, 9 a half, 9 a half, 9 a half, going to be 950. Sort of a 900, Chris O, 900.
Nope.
Huh? You're kidding me.
Still on Andy's.
$500. 550, 550, 550, we get 5 out of 5, 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 going to be 650, and 50 now 7, and 700, and 7, 750, and 7 a quarter, going to be 750, going to be 775, going to be 800, 800, 800, 800, 800 a quarter, 8 and a quarter, 850, 850 and a half, 850, 850, 50 and a half, 8 and a half, 8 and a half, Chris, 825, 0. Look at here, right off them cows, guys. Right off them big string of them black cows. 500. 550, 550, 555 of all bull calves. 550, and 555, going to be 6 and a half, going to be 7, going to be half, going to be hay, going to be quarter, going to be 8 and a quarter, 825, 825, 50, 875, going to be 9 and a quarter, 950, 9 and a half, 950, 9 quarter, 9 and a half. You're out, Kevin. 9 and a quarter, 950, 950, 9 and a quarter, 950, and 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 950, and 950, 9 and a half, 9 and a half, going to be 950. Sold them 925. Chris O. Here comes the ladies. Here's the girls right there. We get 550, and 555, and 50, and 555, 55, and 555, and 5, going to be 600, and 5 and 5, going to be 6, and 6 and a half here, 6 and a quarter, 650, and 57, and 5, going to be 675, going to be 700, and 7 and a quarter, going to be 750, and 775, going to be 775, going to be 800, 800 and a quarter, 850, 875, 875 here, 75, going to 9, and 900, going to be 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 900, Kevin Peck, 875. I ain't never need. You waited around here all day for that. Now he's mad and going home.
That's what we're supposed to pee on.
You want to pee on him, take him back home? Yeah, he is. 65. Has it get five? Has it get five? Has it get five? Has it get Hannah 70? It gets 70. Now 2, 74, 74, 76, 76, $78, and 78, 80, and now 83, 80, 980, and high group 81 here, 82, 81, 82, 81, 82. Sold 181, hole 7. I like that one string of cows. I'll just tell them we couldn't get nothing. Just out of springing way too much. $100.
Mel?
Little old deer. Who give $100 for that calf? I got it. 150. 200, Kevin. 250. 300, Kevin. 300. What's that kid's name? Start with an H. 350. Now 4, Dawson. 400. Would you do 375? 375. Sold 350. Kevin Peck.
Did they give you Mel? Just put red longhorn calf.
Thanks, Trey. We'll see you, bud. Cowboy, what you gonna do the rest of the day? Huh? Work horses? Good. Need any help?
He'll be there to help you.
Yeah, get. All right.
Y'all got a flush trigger on that stuff? Y'all have a flush trigger? Do you? What you guys talking about?
Tacos? Tacos are Tuesday. Did you do any good at the casino Saturday? Did you stop at the casino Saturday? Gotta go to work. Mail? I bet it's off that Stroud.
I'll say choice. 300. 350. 400. 4.5. 500. 550. 600. Now half. 7. Half. 750. 800. 850. Now 9. 900. Kevin, you're out. 900. Kevin, you're out. 900. 950. 950. 1,050. 1050. 1,050. Sold 1,000. Ricardo, you want them both?
Sure. You sure? Bull's always worth more. Them ain't jerseys.
You want them both? Oh. 500. 550. And 5 out of 5. Going to be 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 550. And 550. 50. And now 550. Going to be 550. 5 out of 5. Going to be 600. 600. Kevin. 6.5. 700. Now half. 750. Kevin Peck. 700. Is that the eggs on steak? What's that? Huevos ranchero?
This is free. The pictures are free Saturday.
You guys dream about food. Oh yeah.
Wow, Johnny.
These are some large ass cows.
Muscular. Well, what on the face?
Jeez.
I bet you.
Yep.
35. Yeah, 35. And 37 of going to be 40. Going to get 2.5. 45. 47. 50. And 40. Going to get 7 of 47 of going to be 50. Now 1. And 51. 51. 51. Another 1. 51. 2. 2. 3. Going to get 53. 54. And 54. 5. And 55. Now 55. 6. And 55. 56 here. 5. 56 out of there. 5. Going to be 56 out of there. Going to be 6. Out of 155. Chris 10.
Did y'all notice I didn't say just a whole lot whenever he was sitting over there when y'all was making fun of me and laughing? Yeah, I just... Yeah, you were. The bad thing about it, it was a very true statement.
I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true.
Hey, look at this little firecracker.
100.
Express calf, guys. She'll grow up and be a high dollar show cow one day. $100. 150. 2, half, 3, half, 4, half, 5, half, 550. 550. 550. 600, Kevin. 600, Kevin. 6.5. 650. Kevin Peck, 600. Kevin, you grow her up and get her halter broke. Call me someday.
$35. Yeah, 35. And 35, 37, and 35, 37, and 37, and 37, and 35, 37, 50. And 30, 57, and 40. And now 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 8 and 9. And 39, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 1. And 41, 2, 43, 44, 5, 600. And 45, 46, 45, 6. Booker, 145, 22.
What do we got coming in the door now? Oh, he just banged his leg. Nah. Why would you say that?
Family time, 2,500. 25 and 25, 50 and 20, 55 going to be 20, 55 25, 25 25 25 25 going to be 6.5. Now 7, half, 800 and 28 and a half, 59, 9, 29, 29 and a half, 9 and a half, 9 and a half, 3, 50,000, 3, and 9 and a half, 3, and 9 and a half, 3,000, 3, and 9 and a half, 3,000, 3. Sold her 29.50, hike 1.
Okay.
You're going to have to make 2 loads a day.
Two and two. $2. $205. 210. 15. You're out. 20. 225. 225. Anybody else? 225. Sold him 220, Chris. 7X.
Buy them and love them.
60 cents a pound. 65 and 65 now 70 and 75 here 75 80 there you're going to be 80 85 there you're going to be 85 and 90 there you're going to be 95 $95 $1 here you're going to be $1 going to be $1 going to be 95 going to be $1 there you're going to be 95 going to be $1 pound here so 95 Chris 12. 5 to 7 months. 1250. 1250, you 12 and a half here, half and a half here, going to be 1300, and 12 and a half, you get 1300 and a half, 13 and a half, and 14, you get 14 and a half, going to be 1450, 14 and a half here, half and a half here, going to be 14 and a half, and now 1500 and a half, and 15 and a half here, 1600, and 1600 here, half and a half here, going to be 1600 and a half here, going to be 1650, and 50 and a half here, now 17, and 17, you get 17, you get 17, going to be 17, you get 1700, and 1700 there, going to be 17, 17, going to get 17, going to be 100. Sold 1650. Ricardo 5.
Tucker Hicks.
Okay. Three head.
Yep. Are open. $1.50. 55, 55, now 55, 55, 55, 55, 60, 55, now 70, 75, now 75, 75, 80, 180, 30, 75, going to be 80, 75, going to be 85, 85 and 90, 95, 95, 95, 95, 95, now 2, and 95, going to be 2, 95, 25, and 205, now 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 here, 5, 5, now 5 here, Chris, $2, 7X.
Yes. 6 loads total. There'll be 4 loads on the number 1 and 2 loads straight. Yep.
That Georgia's.
Coming 2 at a time, so them trucks are doubling back, tripling back.
Georgia's lost a calf, 220. $210. $215. We'll settle with an if. Call George. 210, Chris. 7X. Tell her to keep her in a separate pin for right now. I can call him real quick.
965 at 210. 965 at 210. Seller or PR? I have no idea. Whatever you want to do. Yeah. $2,000. Chris. Alright. Sell it.
You got her. Well, he don't want her now. 35, 35, 35, 35, 37, 37, 37, 40, and 40, 40, 40, you get 40, there, you get 40, 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 now 40 here, 40, now 2, 42, 44, 42, 4, 42, you get 4, so 142, S13. Years old. She's 7 months. 1,500. 15 and a half. 15 and a half here. Half here. Half and a half here. Go to 50, 50, and 16. 50. We get 17. We get 50. Go to 18. 50. We get 19. 50. And now 2 and 20. 50. Have 1 and 21. 50. Go to be 150 and 21 and a half here. 1 half and a half and a half here. 1 and a half. Hike 2,100. 1. Yes, sir. 7 months. 5 years and 7 months. 2,500. 25.50. 6 half. 7. 2,700, Lou. 2,700. 2,770. You're going to be 7. You're going to get 7. You're going to be 7. You're going to get 7. Chris 3. 26 and a half. She bred. She is 2 by 7. Bless her heart. Who give 1,000? 1,100. 10, 11, yeah, 10, 11, 10, 11, 11, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12, 1,200, 13, 14, 1,500, 1,500. Yacht Burns, 1,500. M-Dub, 1,400. Hey. Whose are these? You see that one real big one right there? Let's sell him. Sell that good calf right there. 500. 550 and 550 and 550, 555, 55 and 55 and 600 and a half. Going to be 750, 800, 850, 850 and going to be 900 and 9 and 10, 1,050, 10 and 1050 and 10 and 10 and 10 and 10 and going to be 10 and going to be 10 and a half here. Chris, 1,000 on 0. You can have one up to 5.
Ricardo, hold your gate. The one right here.
Anybody else want one for 1,000? Dawson?
No.
Start over. Almost just sell choice. You can buy one, you can buy 3. Okay? 300. 300. 350. 350. Anybody else? 400. 400, Kevin. 4.5. 450. Sold 400. Kevin Peck, you can have one up to 3, and one of them is bad sick. I'd say give him those 2 and hold that bad sick one is what I would do. Yep, hold that bad sick one. $50 for that sick one. $75. $75. 100. 125. 150. 75. 175. 175. 200. 2 and a quarter. Sold 200, Dawson. You just lost your daily wages right there, Dawson.
You just add that 200 to that $2,000 horse you blew your money on.
You guys have a good afternoon. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the a.m. Have a good day.